or call us at 471-1771.
KERX, Parents Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3.
Welcome to San Antonio for the 2025 NCAA Men's Final Four.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life.
Get it ahead, Richard. He will fire. Nice pass. Connor. Richard slam. He just caught a body.
It's in the middle of January against Sasquatch State.
Short lob it up. Wilson elevates for the jam. Clayton trick on his pull up jump shot. He's got it. It's not a pass. That's it. National championship is in the balance. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. Too long. He gets it. 1 second.
This is the Morning Rush.
How do you not give the ball to LJ Cryer at the tail end of that game? I know that we overanalyze things that coaches do on sports talk radio, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why do you not give it to the guy that's leading your team in scoring, that had knocked down 3 or 4 threes in that game? Instead, you give it to the guy that hit like 1 3 prior to that. Tommy, by the way, is that a travel? Like, if he would have caught the ball, what's the deal there? I know that there was a lot made of that final sequence, final play last night. Is that a walk if he touches it? Give us the ref breakdown there from Vegas.
It's essentially you can't pass it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
And the ball, if the ball's not tipped, not to borrow the phrase from One Shining Moment, but yeah, he went up and you could see the indecisiveness in the body language when he went up and didn't know to pass or shoot, and I guess whatever option he was thinking had gotten shut down. I mean, but no, that would have if he'd have grabbed the ball again, it must have been a travel.
So the Gators are the national champions, only school in the history of college sports to win 3 football, 3 basketball. Billy Donovan and company won in 2006, 2007. Todd Golden at 39 years old wins it in 2025, and then you've got a couple between Urban Meyer and then also Steve Spurrier as well. The SEC back in the Conference of Champions in basketball. First time since 2012 that an SEC squad has won the national championship. The question I have that I think that needs to be asked is a dynasty incoming. We saw in that 2006 team from Florida that won it in football. After that, the SEC's been in every national championship or semifinal in football since. Baseball-wise, with the exception of COVID in 2020, the SEC has won the last 5. Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, LSU, and Tennessee. And then other sports as well. We can talk about track and field. We can talk about women's basketball, softball now with Oklahoma. I know that they've been in the Big 12, but in that, you now own so many sports when it comes to the landscape of college and everything else. Basketball's been added to the list, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon, not just with Florida, but the rest of the other SEC college basketball teams that are here to stay for a while.
All right, that's where we begin here on a Tuesday morning following the national championship game, and glad you're with us here for the Morning Rush. A lot to get to. We're brought to you by the Fence Man, the company we trust with anything involving fencing, gates, powered automatic gates, anything you need to make your property look better and have more curb appeal and more security. They're doing a lot of security fencing right now, taller fences, more secure fences. Let Sean tell you how they can custom design a fence that's perfect for you and your business, you and your family, you and your teammates at work. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
So how's Vegas on this beautiful Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock? Did you do anything last night, anything entertaining of note outside of the work parameters?
Well, I watched the national championship game. We watched it at a little sports bar called the Stadia. It wasn't really a sports bar, just a kind of a bar over at Caesars. And so that was good. It didn't have the sound up enough. There was too much ambient noise, if you will. But had a good time watching that, and what another wild finish. And I remember talking to Billy and Neil and in our crew that was with us last night, and I'm like, for Florida, I kind of like where they're at. Houston's in the lead. You look at how the Final Four played out. The team down at halftime was the team that won all those games. And, again, the best part of last night, while I couldn't use my Bet Saracen app, I could walk to the window at Caesars. I put a little $100 bill down on the Florida Gators last night at -1. So it worked out good for Uncle Tommy last night as the Gators came through, and I won $90 off a $100 bet last night on the Florida Gators.
Florida's, I think, won 13 straight, and as you alluded to, whether it was Houston or Florida, a lot of these teams have come back from behind. That's happened a good chunk of the NCAA tournament games. You saw it firsthand, unfortunately, as an Arkansas Razorback fan when Texas Tech did it to you back in that Sweet 16 game in San Francisco, California. But, I mean, Florida's been the best team since late February, early March. I think that, you picked them to win our bracket challenge, which, by the way, you won. I picked them to win. The expectation, I think, from a lot of people, despite Auburn being the number 1 overall seed, Duke only having a few blemishes on the season, is that Florida has been tested over and over and over again this year. And it's not often that you can say that the SEC champion in basketball is also the national champion, but got to remember, Florida did win the SEC championship in Nashville, Tennessee. And I know that there's not really necessarily a correlation all the time, especially on the baseball side of things. But, they have just been as dominant as a team can be in the most important part of the season. They did it behind an All-American point guard who, by the way, didn't do anything for, 30 minutes of that game last night. Walter Clayton held to 11 points. If you're Kelvin Sampson in Houston, and you can hold a guy at bay to 11 points off 3 of 10 shooting, you think you're going to win the game. And yet they just kept on persisting, kept on grinding. And what they've done for a good chunk of the back half of their season is they found a way to win at the end, Tommy.
It was a physical game. It was a man's game last night. I thought in the end, it just turned, with, 12 seconds to go, 12 and a half or whatever on that last inbound. Houston, defense won the night. It was just who was going to grind out and have the better defensive performance, and in the end, it was Florida. And they had to match. I think Houston's a better defensive team. Florida had to step up and match them defensively, and when it mattered the most, down the stretch. And that's what we saw in this Final Four. You had to play your best in the last 4 minutes of the game to win. And that's what happened in all 3 of the games in San Antonio.
All right, we got more basketball to get to. Bruce Dan, Pradco Fishing coming up momentarily here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. But for now, we get into our opening drive, talk a little baseball.
Our offense is pretty special if you haven't figured it out yet. I'll just say that. By the way, our hitting coach, he's pretty good, for those of you that didn't know that. We're leading the SEC by about 30 points in hitting. And in just SEC games, we're first. We're hitting 361 as a team in SEC games. The next closest team is 299. Don't be sending me any more texts about getting a new hitting coach, all right? That's all I had to say it. I'm done. I could get rolling on that, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
This is the opening drive.
So that was Dave Van Horn yesterday at the Swatters Club, Fayetteville Public Library, talking about Nate Thompson, who Coach Thompson and his group of guys have had a tremendous season thus far. I don't know if it's like validation, Tommy, for what he's done so far this season. I don't know if he was just having some fun there or if he actually feels like that he needs to be validating himself for retaining Thompson. I know some people wanted Nate Thompson gone after last season's hitting woes as much of a
woes
as much as a pitching staff like as dominant as they were this last season. But like it's one of those things where like I get sticking up for his guy. You have to do that from time to time with me, and people come at me daily at me. Unfortunately, you don't have any validation like he has thus far this season with Thompson.
I have no trophy case to point to
his performances. But in the sense of like there is like a realistic, I don't know if gripe's the right word, but like the reason they've been bounced the last few years is because they're hitting. So it's like it's one of those things where they're tremendous, and not just their fielding's good, their hitting's good, their pitching's good. There's a reason they're the unanimous number one team in the country in this morning. But at the same time, it's like I listen. Dave's having a little fun there and a little back and forth and just joking with fans. These Swatters clubs, these coaches shows, they're fun. They're entertaining. These guys, they make the best of it. But at the same time, I understand why fans have been a little frustrated the last few years when the hitting hasn't been near what the expectation should be. And it's hard to have a team that is so good in everything, which was why this team is so unique right now. Legitimately, they are top 5, top 10, top 15 in almost every major category that matters in college baseball. And that's, again, why they're the unanimous number 1 team in the country as of yesterday. But he seems to be very confident and also just wanted to stick up for Nate Thompson, his hitting coach, not just yesterday, but I would guess he's going to do that. He's going to reference that throughout the season.
Yeah, and I just wonder, him being Nate Thompson, in the dugout this year, the communication between players in between at bats, not being out at third base, is that immediate feedback if you strike out, is that a part of what we're doing? I don't think it is the secret ingredient by any stretch, but I think it's an ingredient as to why Arkansas is such a lethal team at the plate, batting .335, which, by the way, is 4th in the country. Leads the league, but 4th nationally overall. So pretty strong statistics for Arkansas that might be, and we're going to talk about it in our Pradco Pyramid of Power, might be the most balanced team in not only baseball this year, but maybe we've ever seen at Arkansas.
Yeah,
so we'll discuss it.
We can bring in our buddy Bruce Stanton of Pradco Fishing in here. Bruce, you think about Tennessee, where they are in the pecking order, the SEC, LSU, Texas still on the Razorback schedule, Georgia, of course, this weekend of Athens. The SEC basketball went to the national championship last night. There's no reason to believe an SEC team won't win in Omaha this year as well.
Well, what is it? 8 of the top 14 teams in the poll are SEC.
12,
so,
I think 12, yeah.
12. When you look at the top 12, we can't even put them all in the Pyramid of Power. So it's a juggernaut, but haven't we been seeing that for the last several years? There seems like every other team in the SEC has been winning national championships.
The last 5, if you get COVID doesn't count, obviously, but the last 5 national champions have gone to SEC, and there's been others like South Carolina, Florida, Vanderbilt that have won in previous years prior to these last 5 years. So my expectation is an SEC team is going to end up winning in Omaha once again. Bruce, I opened the show with, do you think is this the start of an SEC dynasty in basketball? Is this where we're headed? Florida wins the first one for the first time since 2012. You go back to 2006 when the Florida Gators won the national championship in football, and the SEC has been involved ever since. Do you kind of get that same sense that we might be on the same trajectory for basketball from here on out?
Well, after I drank 2 bottles of Pepto-Bismol because I hate Florida, and realized they won their 3rd national championship. I mean, there's a lot of truth, but you look at recent Big 12. We've seen Baylor win. We've seen Kansas win. We saw Houston make a run. Could have won last night. I mean, let's not pat ourselves on the back too much if you're an SEC fan. I think what the league did this year was phenomenal. You got great coaches, but you're probably 5 years away from a lot of these great coaches retiring or moving on. So I think there's a moment in time where the SEC's dominant. And, Duke's still out there. North Carolina, Indiana, Kansas are still out there. I mean, I think baseball is where SEC's dominant. I mean, when you look at what the league's doing with the facilities, the coaches, the year-round play because of the warmth, I just think the SEC has such an advantage in baseball over any other sport.
Look at Houston's losses this season, guys. So Houston has a 2-point loss to Florida last night. They've got a 1-point loss to Texas Tech in overtime, a 5-point loss to Auburn. 3 of their 5 losses are to SEC teams, by the way. A 5-point loss to Alabama in overtime, and a 3-point loss to San Diego State. Their biggest deficit in a loss this season is 5 points. That's it. So you talk about Heartbreak City, Tommy. This, by the way, we referenced Phi Slamma Jamma. Phi Slamma Jamma number 1 in national championship. They lost to NC State and they lost to Georgetown at 83-84. This team came up short. Again, I don't want to belittle a team that made it all the way to the national championship, but man, they had some heartbreakers this season when it came to their basketball, where they battled, they got it to where it was like a point where you thought they were going to win, and they came up just short because, unfortunately, offense got their last 6 possessions, guys, missed 3, missed jumper, turnover, 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 turnover for Houston last night.
Well, they used all their end-of-game good fortune up against Duke to get to that point, I guess. All right, that's the opening drive. It's brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custards. If you're craving something sweet, there's locations all over the area to get to. 2 in Conway, 1 in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard, and the one we stop in from time to time, Andy's Frozen Custards on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. You can mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors. They've got the Pick 6, so you can take that home. It's the perfect game time treat. And you can now download the Andy's Frozen Custards app to make it even easier to order your favorite frozen treat. It's Andy's Frozen Custards, Conway, North Little Rock, and in Fort Smith. Walk up or drive through. They're ready to take care of you at Andy's Frozen Custards.
All right, for the first time this year, we are going to do our Pradco Pyramid About Power Baseball Edition as Arkansas takes on Georgia. Some other impactful games this weekend. Unanimous #1 team in the country. I'm assuming they're going to get slotted in Bruce and Tommy's rankings the exact same way. Your Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Who are the best baseball teams in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Well, I can't speak for Bruce, and seriously, I mean, I'm not homering up, but I don't know how you could not have the Arkansas Razorbacks, who are ranked #1 in the D1 baseball poll this week, who are 30-3, who have won their last 7, and let's be honest, didn't have the most impressive weekend. Now, and I say that tongue in cheek because they hammered Florida 51-7 over the course of 3 games, but they didn't beat the most impressive opponent. I think we all get that. But, Bruce, this might be the most balanced Razorback team we've seen. Maybe it's the recency bias, but they're a complete team. ERA, number 10 in the country at 3.53. Team batting average, we heard Dave earlier in the show alluding to how good his team is at the plate. We know that. They're 4th in the country there. I don't know how you come up with anything objectively or biased that doesn't have the Razorbacks at #1.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw on 11th in the country with 10.8 strikeouts per 9 innings. They've been totally dominant on both sides of the ball. You know, you play 33 and win 30 of them, 11 straight conference games. You're obviously doing something right. You know, we know they got a great manager. So, you know, we'll see how it ends up in postseason. But right now, they're the most dominant team in the country, no doubt.
Fifth in the country to in home runs. So I mean, it just they can hit for power, and there's no hole in the lineup. So I know we're high on the Hogs, but there's good reason to be. And I'll start with the Razorbacks, #1 in the Pradco Pyramid of Power. They take on Georgia this weekend. We got Georgia coming up in a little bit. They slid after last week, but that will be the best measuring stick to date for the Razorbacks when they go to Athens this weekend. All right, gag me with a spoon, but I got the Texas Longhorns at #2. They swept Georgia, and that series was in Austin. It was a tough weekend for Georgia. They're 26-4, 11-1 in the league, same record as the Razorbacks. Team ERA is #2 in the country at just a hair over 3. Bruce, they bat. Their batting might be their one Achilles heel. They're number 91 in the country statistically. They bat just under 300 at 291. But Texas right now, just based on record and conference standings, I don't know how I put them anywhere other than #2.
No, I agree with you. You know, if you got the arms, you know, Vanderbilt's proven it. You know, Georgia came in 87 home runs, most in the country, and Texas pitchers shut their bats down in Austin. So you got to give credit to their pitching staff. If they can hold up, they can go a long way this year.
All right, I don't think this will be controversial with you, but it may be with some. I'm going to go ahead and put Tennessee at #3, even though their conference record's not as good as LSU. And it's not because I love you, Bruce, but let me give you my reasoning on this. I do love you, but here's my reasoning. Tennessee had one bad day. Tennessee had a bad day. They lost the series to A&M after a decisive win on Friday night. They had a bad day on Saturday. They played both of those games, lost them both on Saturday. It looks worse on the record at 9-3, you know, coming into this next weekend. But 3 in the country statistically on ERA. They're a top 25 batting team. This is a huge weekend as they go to Ole Miss, but I think Tennessee is better than LSU. I think they had a bad day against A&M, and I'm not going to knock them any further than third based on that.
Yeah, I went negative Nelly, probably Nelly the rapper, not John L. Davis. But I put LSU at third. Tigers won 8 in a row. That they're 10-2 in the league, 30-3, same record as Arkansas, and especially at home, they are tough. So I went with LSU. That one day killed me. Tennessee dropping the doubleheader, but they lost 2 games at home back to back.
All right, Colton's put us on the pitch clock. So we got to pick up the pace here. I'm being told. I got LSU at 4. I'm going to assume you have Tennessee at 4.
Yeah.
All right, then I've got Georgia, who Arkansas takes on this weekend. They got swept by Texas. I dropped them to 5. They're 7th in the country, but they're still a very potent team. And then I struggle with number 6. Do you go Ole Miss or Bama? Are my 2 there? I think I'll lean Ole Miss, but it's very close between Ole Miss and Bama for my number 6 spot.
I went Ole Miss. They won their series at Kentucky. They're ranked number 9 nationally. 24 wins is kind of low on this list, but no, they're playing well right now.
All right, so Arkansas, Texas, Tennessee, LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss is the top 6. We pretty well flip there. Ty, I'm not even going to ask you if we got it right or wrong because we, of course, got it right. And that's our Pradco Pyramid of Power. Bruce, I know all the rain changes the fishing. Give us a quick fishing update here as we close out the segment.
Get your Booyah Blade spinnerbait or your Booyah Covert Finesse double Willis spinnerbait. If you can find wind-blown banks, the fish are in the trees. They're in any kind of green vegetation that's in the water. I'm down at Broken Bow. It's 12 feet high. You can see bird nests on the top of trees underwater. Run that spinnerbait over that stuff, and you'll catch some bass. Caught some nice ones yesterday.
All right, Academy Bass Pro Shops, LureNet.com is the place we go, and you get free shipping on all U.S. orders over $35. All right, good luck fishing, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing, the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is the Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
It's in the middle of January against Sasquatch State.
This is the Morning Rush.
It's time for the Wrath Rod Replacement Sale at Wrath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above the appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Wrath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Wrath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, WrathAutoFortSmith.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing and consistent.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, the saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs.
That's Wheeler Power Sports, 901 North 11th Street in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks. Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
107 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Arkansas baseball back in action tonight against Arkansas State. Unanimous #1 team in the country. Here's DVH on that ranking.
Yeah, it means that there's nowhere to go backwards. It's really about it. I've never talked to the team this year about a ranking, not one time where we were, where we are in the standings. I haven't said one thing. I just tell them every day, just stay humble, keep working. You know, it'll all end up what you're looking to do.
Tommy, what'd you say, 8 of the top 12 teams from the Southeastern Conference in D1 baseball?
And there's 10 teams in the top 25 and others that will probably have been or will be in there at some point in this league. So
40% of top 25 teams.
Yeah. I mean, this league's been dominant. Let's not act like this is new. You've added Texas and OU, and obviously Texas is living up to what you expected from their baseball program, so no surprises there. But, this is an uncharted territory for the Southeastern Conference in baseball to be this well represented in the top 25 and in the top 5.
Has OU contributed anything to the Southeastern Conference outside of softball?
They're not terrible in baseball. I mean, they'll be okay. They won some games this week. I know they're 5-7 below 500, but it won't be easy playing OU. So don't just write them off. But they played LSU this last weekend. Let's see. They got swept by LSU 2-0, 10-2, 3-2. But OU's a decent baseball program. Don't just write them off.
I figured you'd lay into that. I set you up. I teed you up, and you didn't.
I know, and I hate Oklahoma.
Swing and a miss.
And I know it. Well, no, but I don't like them. But I'm telling you, I've been over there for regionals, and it stinks. And you can get me teed up on how bad their media relations people are, and their facilities are awful. But they can beat your butt too.
Speaking of softball, your softball program won 14-0 in North Florida last night, so they keep on winning in the state of Florida.
Good.
Just smashed them 14-0. Arkansas baseball's Cam Kojal won the SEC Player of the Week after a dominant performance against Missouri. Scored more runs against Missouri than they did all weekend. 13 RBIs for Camden last weekend. He had himself quite a weekend. Let's see what else. I think that's it. All right, that is your Hog Update here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with Benny Malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
So have you seen anything weird in the last 24 hours since we last talked to you in Las Vegas, Nevada?
Everything you see in Vegas, if you're on the Strip at all, has some kind of weird undertone or overtone to it. So, yeah, there is plenty of weird to go around in Vegas.
Okay.
Absolutely. I've ducked in at place 2. We watched the game at Caesars. I know you don't believe there's actual attendance of work being done out here, but I haven't really had a time
That's what you
to
accuse
just
me of
hang
every
out
time.
on the Strip. There is no rowdy beaver here that I've found yet.
I promise there's plenty of beavers in Las Vegas, Nevada. I promise.
I have seen
that.
a few, but
Yes.
it's a whole different subject. So.
All right. Speaking of beavers, let's talk to our friend David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi. I know David loves coming in on these odd segues. David, have you ever been to Vegas?
I have. That is a wild segue, man. I appreciate the lead-in.
Okay.
There are some wild things you will see in Vegas.
Yeah.
Particularly if you stay out after about midnight, which I have not done.
Well,
and they've got those weird lights inside all the casinos and stuff, make it feel like it's daytime. It screws up messes up your head.
Yeah, and as Tommy's been reiterating over and over, it is expensive right now, and I know that's what
terrible.
Yeah, it's bad in some cases. David, I'm not. I know this might surprise you. I'm not much to watch for news. I don't partake in it. I don't watch it. I enjoy the Instagram and Facebook reels, and I came across one of yours the other day. You guys marked down a Dodge Durango, I think like 3,000, where it's under 2,900. I know you don't really pay attention to news either, and I know you're marking things down, counter what some people believe, right?
Yeah, last time I trusted the news, Lewis was fronting them, dude. We're having a lot of fun with it, man. We're still trying to be aggressive on the market. We price everything to try to make sure people are getting a good value and still get a really good vehicle. We're still doing that road ready certified thing. So even on a vehicle like that, where I mark our way down and try to get a really good deal for somebody, you're still going to get that backing. You're still going to get that peace of mind where you've got that comprehensive warranty on it, and you know that it passed inspection. You're not just buying the last guy's problem. So we're doing that across the lot. I mean, that was just one example because I was sitting in that vehicle. Yeah, we marked a bunch of stuff down yesterday, and we're watching that constantly. Just we're trying to hold out basically as long as we can. On the way the market is. It's hard to replace this stuff though. So folks they're thinking about buying something, it'd be in their interest to do it sooner rather than later because I can't replace that Durango for what I'm selling it for right now.
I'm still stuck on who's Huey Lewis. I'm assuming that's a news
Please,
anchor
no.
of some sort.
Please. Tell me you're kidding. Tell me you're playing the role.
Kidding. I'm not kidding.
You're
not
not.
playing the
Oh
role.
my!
I'm not playing the stooge. I laughed. I
have failed.
You know how
I
sometimes
have failed as a co-host.
David, you know how you sometimes laugh at something someone else is saying just so you go along. I have no idea.
I do it all the time.
Okay, I'm assuming that's a news anchor of some sort.
No, lead singer, man. Huey Lewis and the News. The rest of you guys throw stuff at him. I'll take it off the phone.
Okay. All right. Well, you see what Tommy has to deal with. David, thanks for dealing with us each and every week.
See y'all tomorrow.
Thanks, you guys.
All right. That's our buddy David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi. Who is Huey Lewis?
He's the lead singer of a band called Huey Lewis and the News. So when he said he didn't trust the news, it was Huey Lewis.
Okay. Is that the band from Animal House?
Tell me you're just.
No, I'm legitimately. I have no idea.
You're playing.
I'm not playing a bit.
You're playing the bit.
Pitch
here.
count going down 3, 2, 1. I'm not playing a bit. I have no idea who that is.
All right, Colton, you've got the.
It's time to go. Tommy and Ty, they steal the show. ESPN, it's all feel the flow. Morning Rush, Morning Glow.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I just like to constantly moisturize my meat.
This is the Morning Rush.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
I could get rolling on that, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
This is the Morning Rush.
It's time for the Rath Rod Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Rod Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Taco Bell's new Caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Hey everyone, Josh Earnhardt here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Do you like doing business with local companies? Did you know that AAA Business Systems is one of only a few truly local office technology providers in Northwest Arkansas? Ask your current technology provider where their corporate office is, and let's keep your money in Northwest Arkansas. Buy local, support local. Call us today at 479-442-4185, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mamaw's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Irons, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
All right, this is Huey Lewis and the News. Surely you've heard this.
It sounds familiar. Seth texted in on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying clearly Ty doesn't understand it's hip to be square.
Yes, or The Power of Love, which we
hip to be square.
To be, you know.
Square.
I mean, you watched Back to the Future, right?
Yeah.
Huey Lewis was prominently displayed in that movie.
That's why David referenced it last segment, because of he's a huge Back to the Future guy. He's got the skateboard in his office. Some of it's like
we're going to borrow from Phil. This is your morning rush homework. You got to go listen wherever you get your music and get caught up on. I mean, Huey Lewis and the News. I mean, don't just listen to Huey Lewis. Listen to Huey Lewis and the News.
All right, Huey.
But you seriously thought he was a news anchor?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know who that was. No. Listen, I'm bad. This is probably why I'm limited in a variety of ways. But I'm really bad. Yeah. Like when I get in the car, I only listen to like two things. I listen to our radio station, or three things. If I'm out of the state, I'll listen to Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. If I'm in state, I'm listening to one of our stations, or I'm listening to Morgan Wallen. I'm like in the 99.9 percentile on Spotify every year of Morgan Wallen listeners, and I don't listen
to one of the they're having some deal out here in one of the local stations. I mean, they're having Morgan Mania out here. So
he kills it. He kills it everywhere, man. He's always on the top. All right, what is I now know what Huey Lewis and Huey Lewis and the News. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hip to be
Huey
square.
Lewis and the News. That's just one of many. I think The Power of Love might be another one that might could be a good vibe for you.
I always, you know what I know it's bad is when Colton starts laughing, because I realize that Colton is 4 years younger than me, and like I try to measure myself with Colton. Yeah, that's true. That's a given. That's a given.
He's more worldly.
That's
I remember more useless
society.
That's very true. Everything you just said is accurate. But I realize whether it's Big C or Colton or when it was DQ, if they knew something that I didn't, then I said, this is going to be bad, as it just was. All right, what is our Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question as you're in Vegas this morning? Is it something Vegas related or basketball related or baseball related?
Basketball related.
Okay.
Basketball related. So we saw Florida win the national title last night.
Yep.
You've been talking about you're already trying to claim a dynasty for the conference for next year.
Saying that's where we get ahead. Getting ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to get ahead here. All right, this going to fit right into to your wheelhouse.
Okay.
Morning Rush Daily question: who hoists the crown?
Oh gosh! All right, let's pull out the old odds right now. So Duke has the best odds at plus 1,000. Highest SEC team. You want to know who the highest SEC team is? Technically, it's tied. The Auburn Tigers.
I'm going to say Auburn or Bama would be
the Alabama
my
Crimson
guess.
Tide, and your Arkansas Razorbacks at plus 1,800. based on.
Ooh, can I run over and get some of that today?
Yeah, you might as well bet a future on them. Kentucky, by the way, plus 2,000. Want to make sure we get that on the airwaves because I know that burns Big Blue Nation anytime they're below Arkansas in anything. Early, like it's April the 8th. I don't know what day the Final Four the national championship game will be on in 2026. I mean, when I watch the Boozer twins play, I mean they're unbelievable, and I know it's hard to put a lot on a true freshman. I think we saw Cooper Flagg this year, how great he was, but I would put Duke if you're asking me right now, and that's kind of a lame pick since they're the chalk and they're number one. But man, those Boozer kids can play, and I would probably take Duke if you pin me to a mat.
As I was reading the note package this morning, and I know you think I don't always read it, but I think Duke was 7th on the ESPN way too early.
Arkansas
right?
7.
So I mean, okay, Arkansas, but Duke was 8th then, because wasn't Duke right behind Arkansas, or is it right ahead? They were right next to each other. So Duke was not. Houston was number 1 in that, and I just wonder about keeping these teams together, keeping players together, and in the transfer portal world, I don't know how we'd make really any kind of intelligent. Not that intelligence is something people would expect on this show, but how would you make a reasonable prediction on who would win next year because of all the moving parts and pieces? So, I think Houston will be back. I think these programs are going to have that had success will have a surge of cash. The ones that had momentum heading into it's like winning your bowl game when you get to the Sweet 16. Isn't that kind of how it feels for Arkansas in basketball? While you didn't obviously win your last game, you kind of feel like you won your bowl game, so to speak, to borrow the football analogy. I think there will be some energy to raise some money. So I think it's amongst the teams. I think it's more likely a team that made the Sweet 16 this year will be the one to win the national title next year.
JT and Hot Springs.
And that includes the Razorbacks.
Yeah, April 6, 2026 is the 2026 national championship game.
My mama's birthday. So
okay, well, hopefully she's celebrating Arkansas winning in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Lucas Oil Stadium on her birthday that day. And it always, and as I'm watching the Gators last night, and I have to separate myself from 95% of our audience that got to experience the 94 national championship. I thought to myself, it's like, am I ever going to see an Arkansas national championship? Like, I've just come to grips it's not going to happen in football. I hope I'm wrong. But between basketball and baseball, you suck the last life out of Cal, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. Hopefully it's 10. Hopefully he keeps winning. Hopefully he brings one home. Hopefully Dave bursts through and gets his first. But I'm thinking to myself, like, can I ever experience what Florida fans have experienced 5 times in the last decade and a half between the 08, 06, 06, 07, and 2025 national championships? Because, like, it's just kind of a wait and see. And again, I have to separate myself because the majority of our audience, unlike me and Colton, felt 94. We didn't. And whether it's you, Clay, Chuck, Bo, whoever else, like to feel what that was like. And I just don't know. I hate to be the negative Nancy or the bearer, but I just don't know if we will ever see it. I hope in my lifetime we see it, Tommy, but I don't know if I'm going to, which sucks. So you want to get to the mountaintop. You don't want to just get to the mountaintop. You want to win the whole stinking thing.
So you got Duke next year. Is that what you said? Duke to win the national title?
Yes. You pin me to the mat. Who are you taking? Homer up.
Florida. I'd love to. Florida won it back-to-back before. Why couldn't they do it again?
Young coach. I don't know. So Clayton's going to be gone. I don't know what the rest of their roster looks like in terms of. I'd have to look and see, but that's fair. They'll get. Golden's going to have a good say in the transfer portal. It's like, hey, you want to play for the defending national champion? Come on, it's hard to repeat, but we saw 2 years ago it can happen with UConn in today's day and age. Like Dan Hurley was able to do it, and they gave Florida all they wanted in that round of 32 game. We might not be talking about the Gators if not for a play or two in that game. So Florida's not a bad pick. Colton, what do you think? Early. Call your shot.
I'm going to go with a team like Michigan. They've been really building up in the transfer portal. I really like Dusty May. I think that the Big Ten's not quite so rigorous as the SEC. They may be rested up, and they're obviously ranked very high. They got some dudes in the portal, so I think that may be a team that could be on the come-up at the end of this time next year.
All right, that is your Card Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. Are April the 8th, 2025 picks for the 2026 National Championship are in Duke, Michigan, and Florida. We're calling our shots early. That's our Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question. I know they had people watching the game there last night. You can watch the Masters there this week. You could play Augusta National this week at Cart Pass Social. If you want to book, call them, 479-487-3622. Check them out online at cartpasssocial.com. Come see them in person. Check the place out in Lowell, 122 Grant Place. Don't have to wear golf attire. Birthday parties, corporate events, casual, you name it, they can do it. CartPassSocial.com. It is BYOB at CartPass Social. So you referenced Jeff Borzello's ESPN.com's early top 25 where the Razorbacks are just ahead of the Blue Devils. Arkansas number 7. Duke's at number 8. You've got 2 top 10, top 5 kids coming in Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff. You got the number 1 player in the state coming in, Isaiah Sealy. And then you're probably going to have some marquee transfer portal players coming in as well. Still waiting on those, but you tend to think that fans think that Arkansas is going to get that Florida State center. Haven't seen the actual official recruiting letter or anything like that. But the good thing is you're going to be in the hunt, right? You're going to be in the hunt not for just that second weekend type of thing that you were just talking about, Tommy, but as we're seeing from the betting odds, and hopefully by the end of the SEC season, you'll be in for maybe much more than that.
I'll caution you on this, though. Arkansas was in a similar position based on expectations of Cal this time last year. You know, when everything started coming together, there was similar. So, and we saw how that started with SEC play going 0-5. We know the story. I don't need to rehash it. But just because you're in here doesn't mean it's going to work out. I almost would rather not have that on you right now. But we'll see. You know, again, we're trying to make an expectation. We don't even know the rosters are going to be. And they're more fluid than ever before. So it's purely a guess at this point.
Is it bad?
But Arkansas was in that group that people liked last year, and it was all based on Cal. And Cal, in the end, got them to a Sweet 16, as we know. But just because you're on that list doesn't mean it's going to be a smooth ride, and it wasn't for the Razorbacks.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't smooth for Florida last night, and yet they found a way to win. I don't know if Todd Golden's got it on anyone else's nerves, but he's kind of annoying me a little bit.
Incredible job. All right, start to finish. You guys have done this all year, though. All right, we talked about it at halftime. Stay the course. Final 4 minutes. That was our time. All right, and each and every one of you guys should be incredibly proud of what you just accomplished. All right. How many D1 teams are there now? 36. There's 363 Division I teams that start the year. 68 that start this tournament. But every time, it doesn't matter how. We could outscore people. We get to a hundo. Tonight, we had to do it a different way. All right, we played an incredibly tough, gritty, great program. We had to win an ugly game. Well, we just did. Nobody can ever take that away from us. Never. Each and every one of you guys are national champions.
Okay, maybe this is the pot calling the kettle.
That,
no, well, here's my thought. Here's why. And maybe this is the pot calling the kettle black as I started doing sports radio at 23 years old across several Arkansas radio stations I had no business being on. But I hated at the 39, and you're welcome on the other side. That we've turned out to be. But I hate that the 39-year-old beat the 69-year-old last night. I legitimately, and usually I have no problem cheering for the young guy, but Todd Golden started getting on my nerves. He started to get on my nerves as the tournament wore on, his antics, his quotes, whatever. And maybe it's also because it's an SEC team and Arkansas has to compete with them in recruiting and everything else.
Yeah, that is a take I didn't expect from you. Hey, download the Taco Bell app, or the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. If you're wanting something saucy, cheesy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. It's the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. If you're wanting to power a new driveway or new sidewalks around your home, or you got a large-scale commercial job coming up, our friends at APAC and Standard Materials Group have all the top-quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete you need to complete the job, and they have construction consultant services to keep you on track for your job. 479-587-3300, 587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group.
Tom Murphy coming up next.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is The Morning Rush.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime.
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479 Stadium.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
Decisions aren't hard when no matter what you choose, you win. Like with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 classic box with iconic favorites like a beefy 5-layer burrito, the $7 Supreme box with the chicken chalupa supreme, and more. Or find new obsessions in the $9 Discovery box. Get yours at Taco Bell today. Our participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please text H2H Mystery to 44834 or call us at 479-452-2260. Heart to Heart's Mystery at the Forest, April 26th.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Irons, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the low to mid 60s. Clear skies tonight. Overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Wednesday, sunshine. Our high will be in the low 70s. And more sunshine back with us on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Welcome to San Antonio for the 2025 NCAA Men's Final Four.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life.
Get it ahead, Richard. He will fire. Nice pass. Carter. Sure slam. He just caught a body.
It's in the middle of January against Sasquatch State.
Short level. Wilson elevates for the champ. Fleming goes full of jump shots. He's got it. He is not a pass. That's it. National championship is in the balance. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. Short. He walked. He can't touch it. He can't. 1 second. Championship. This. It's a great day to be here.
This is The Morning Rush.
It's hour number 2 of The Morning Rush. I learned who Huey Lewis in the news was in hour number 1. I found that out after Tommy, David Rath, Colton, and the rest of you educated me. And after that disaster of a statement in the first hour, I should say. I know that's important, along with Florida winning the national championship for school in the history of college sports in the D1 to win it in both 3 times in football, 3 times in basketball. SEC gets its first title since 2012. Tom Murphy coming up momentarily as well.
Hey, if you're looking for a great place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, we always recommend the Inn at the Mill is the place to stay because they got the big oversized suites and they're conveniently located to everything in Northwest Arkansas. And I think the staff there is what really separates them. 479-443-1800 is their number. 443-1800 or online at inatthemill.com. Tom Murphy coming up in a few minutes. Later in the hour, we got some trivia. Your chance to win a CJ's Butcher Boy burger. And I also want to remind you here before we get too far that, hey, they're going to be out looking on the roadways for people like you, Ty, that use that device when you drive. Can't do it. Don't be scrolling through your social media. Have we got that stopped yet?
I'm not doing it this month because we're promoting the opposite of it.
Right. So between 2011 and 2020, 32,000 Americans lost their lives in motor vehicle accidents by distracted drivers. It's 8% of all the crashes that are out there anymore. So what can you do? Whatever you have to do. And I'm bad about it too. Remove the temptation, put your phone away, or turn it into Do Not Disturb. I have used the hands-free devices more, and I don't pay attention to text much when I drive. So the hands-free in these newer cars is really been a game changer for me. It can wait. Just pull over, park, and use your device safely. There's no excuse to put other people at risk with your distracted driving. So when you're driving, pay attention to the road. Remember this: If you're in Arkansas, put the phone away or pay. This message brought to you by the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
I knew we were going to have a good game last night when I heard Master Sergeant Robert Carter's national anthem.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Not that those always dictate what's going to happen in the game following, but I will say in recent memory, that's one of the best national anthems that I've ever listened to live.
And it doesn't have to be a celebrity to be good.
No, I prefer not to be. Like, I don't want to know who's singing it. I want it to be like that. I didn't know who that guy was before. He was tremendous
awesome
last night.
So here's a question, serious question. I'm in Vegas, National Association of Broadcasters convention. We're watching the game at a it's not really a sports bar, but it's a bar with a lot of TVs inside Caesars last night. Do you stand when the national anthem comes on TV? You're not in the arena. Obviously, if you're in the arena, you stand, you put your hand on your heart. What do you do when you're in that situation? Because there was one or two tables where the people stood, and that's great, and then most of the restaurant paid attention, and then there were some that kept on with their conversations. What is proper protocol when you're in an establishment and the national anthem is televised? Because normally it's not. Only on the big events do they televise the national anthem. What's the protocol?
I'm Southern, so I do it usually. But I've been in situations.
What if you're the only one? Because like last night, there was like two out of 100 that were doing it.
So you just fall into peer pressure. If other people aren't doing it, you're not going to do it. Is that what you're?
Oh. No, I'm just asking. Because I didn't. I kind of sat there and crossed my heart, but I was in the back of a booth and I couldn't really stand.
I've gotten made fun of from my friends for doing it. As long as I can stand, doesn't matter if we're there in person or if we're offside and it's going on live. I'm going to stand up. Like this country, I haven't sacrificed jack for this country, so I'm going to appreciate the ones that have. So I may look like a dork being one or two of the only people that are there, even if it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. But I'm going to stand up.
Because, as you like to say, it's hip to be square, right?
It's hip to be square.
So I agree with you, and I wish I had not been in the back of a booth where I couldn't have stood. It was one of them corner booth type.
You didn't want to stand up on the booth?
Well, it's just no.
I just hear an excuse.
But I did have a lot of respect for those that did. So I think the protocol should be we stand no matter where we're at.
Okay.
So
Well, let's ask our friend Tom Murphy about that.
I'm looking at Carter Knox and Dutiro. I see guys that need to stay in school, but that's just me. Determining who is not going to go to the NBA and is going to return is always a big deal.
Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
All right, Mr. Murphy, don't know if you heard Tommy there or not, but if you're not at an actual sporting event and yet the national anthem is being played on the television, are you standing? You sitting? What are you doing? I'm going to put you on the spot as we get you going this morning.
No problem. I would stand if I could. I'm not sure if there's any published protocol about what the scenario Tommy just outlined. But if I was at a table and I could stand, I would stand because it's just being shown and it's broadcast over the whole dining room. So I would do that. And if I was like Tommy and my back up against the booth and you got to get people to move, hey, excuse me, let me step out here. It's a little different.
Yeah, I admired the people that did. They didn't set a trend in the restaurant last night, but they did. What an entertaining game! I'd pick Florida in my bracket. I might have had a little wager on it here at the casino last night on Florida, and we got to halftime, and Houston was leading the game, and I said I feel good about Florida because. Tom, in all these Final Four games, all three of them, I think the team losing at halftime ended up winning, right? So these were all three entertaining, come-from-behind wins this weekend in San Antonio.
It was a great Final Four. Houston got a little bit of a dose. It wasn't as bad because that collapse by Duke was an all-timer. That was an epic collapse. This was just more of a mild collapse. But the way the second half started with Florida racking up all those fouls and Ciniello losing his patience and getting the technical and falling behind by, was 11 or 12, it didn't look good. But, and Clayton hadn't scored yet, but they got going. And Clayton, what a clutch player. It was his defensive flyby that caused Sharp to, put the dribble down on the deck and not pick it up for some reason. So, yeah, Florida did not feel bad at halftime, but it did feel bad about 5 minutes into the second half.
Tom, let's talk about that because Clayton got lost. If you watch that play, he got lost on that. And then he just, as you said, sprinted to the very top. This is a kid that wasn't hitting jack. It was 3 of 10 last night. I think 1 of 7 from 3. And yet he still made the play when it counted. He's a Florida kid, starts his career at Iona, had like 3 scholarship offers. He's got to go down as one of the best players in Florida history based on how he finished his season, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm glad he won most outstanding player of the tournament despite having a bad championship game. You and I were texting about him. He's just a dog. He's a clutch player. I know he didn't turn in a ton of clutch plays yesterday, but that defensive play was one of them. And he did get some scoring late in the game that was, vital. So, yeah, what a player, and I'm happy. Just a smart kid. He made some killer plays in the Auburn game, and then also in other games in the tournament.
Tom Muir's down the middle and as steady Eddie as it gets. So I'm gonna ask you this: Is Todd Golden got any on your nerves? Like, is his antics? Is it rubbed you the wrong way? I'm just getting annoyed by him. Maybe it's just an SEC coach that ticks me off. But is there anything that's irritated you about him the last couple weeks?
Yeah, he's a little over the top. Some of his rants he throws on the sideline look a little, young. You know what I mean? Like, kind of ranting and raving and kind of crying to the officials. So, yeah. But, then again, Bruce Pearl, I like him. I like him a lot personally, but he gets too mad, like he's going to blow his top. And, I thought Mike Krzyzewski was calm and cool, but late in his career, he would get hot under the collar and yell. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just too old school on that. And today's coaches just throw fits. Cal gets mad, but he doesn't get that red in the face, going to blow my stack type look very often.
Yeah. Tom Murphy with us, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Let's shift gears a little bit. Spring football back underway. Rebuild of the offensive line. We've discussed that. Practice has been a little bit, a whole lot more accessible to the media this year. Tom, what if when you felt up to it and had time, what have been your takeaways going over and seeing practice?
Yeah, I happened to bump into Sam on Saturday's deal that was going to be a scrimmage, but it turned out not to be. It was so rainy, and I think when you're inside, you feel a little bit tight in there and don't want to risk injury, so they didn't scrimmage, but they will make it up. He says he likes this team. Now, will their turnover in roster be greater than most teams? Probably so. They might end up with 60 newcomers, which is crazy to think about. But there was a good organization to the practice. I like what's going on at quarterback. I wrote about that on Sunday behind Talon. Now, there were some picks and there were some bad snaps in that practice too. But I just like the competition behind him. KJ Jackson's doing nothing to, lose the number 2 spot. But it's good to know that you got Grayson Wilson and Madden Maliava and Blake Boda behind that are pushing. These are not just slouch, just walk-on quarterback kids. These are kids that, and I'm not saying you can put Blake Boda in at Tennessee and he's going to move down the field, but I'm just saying they're competent. And Bobby Petrino is an ace quarterback tutor, and you can just see that out there on the field.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. You got pretty much intact coaching staff. You had one change there, and I think that's going to pay dividends too this year. And you're going to see it with the holdover players and not having to change communications, not having to build the relationships from ground up. So I think maybe you're going to see a little more momentum coming out of spring just based on the continuity of the staff.
Yeah, that's a great point. This is going to be a great kind of puzzler in terms of how much personnel can you change over and still be a competitive team. because this thing gets real for them after the first two, the A&M and the Arkansas State games. It gets real. I mean, you're on the road at Ole Miss for week 3, and then you go back the same drive and go to Memphis, which is not going to be an easy game in week 4, and then you come home and have Notre Dame. So how quickly can they be competitive? How many players can buy into the system, play within the schemes, and do the things Bobby Petrino and Travis Williams want on both sides of the ball? It's fascinating. You're basically restructuring your entire offensive line. You're filling in almost entirely at receiver, outside C.J. Brown, a couple other guys. Total changeover. Changeover at running back outside of Rodney Hill, Braylon Russell, who were not the top guys last year. To me, this is going to be a study in personnel management and motivation, and it's going to be fascinating to watch play out next fall.
Tom, baseball tonight, they'll take on Arkansas State 6 o'clock here in Baum-Walker Stadium. This weekend, they'll travel to Athens, Georgia. When you look at just the complexion of this team so far, the hitting's good, the fielding's good, and the pitching is good. And I say good, they're all great. I mean, they're statistically like within the top 15 of every major category. I guess what stood out to you the most thus far, nearly halfway through SEC play?
It's really wild that they rank up there in everything, fielding too, and ERA. I would say this: it's the additions of the portal guys and how like what their batting averages are. How Davalon has been. I mean, you couldn't have asked for more basically from a leadoff guy hitting with power. Kozel, I mean, Souza was going to be the second baseman. Now these two guys are battling it out, and he's playing some first base where Rocco Pepe's down. So. Iredale, everything you would have wanted. Justin Thomas has been a great fill-in in the outfield, to the point that Kendall Diggs, isn't getting the playing time that he might have. So here they are now, unanimous number 1. Arkansas State coming off their first win over a ranked opponent at Coastal Carolina since 2020, and now they got a really big fish. So this is a big game. If Arkansas wins, they'll be 31-3, which would be the best record of all time in Arkansas baseball, which is just really hard to fathom when you look at the changeover in personnel that they've had as well, and an entirely new starting staff. It's mind-boggling.
One of the things I've been kicking around is like you got to go up against Wes Johnson this weekend, a former Dave Van Horn disciple. You got to close out your season with Tony Vitello coming off a national championship. Dave's coaching, his pedigree is kind of hurting him in a sense, isn't it, Tom? Because now these guys are coming back with some just ferocious teams.
This is going to be a brutal stretch. I mean, they still have Florida and A&M to go, which are teams that were basically as highly regarded as any team in the conference going into league play and have struggled, although A&M got it back, against Tennessee last weekend. But this is a brutal finishing stretch. 2 teams picked to finish it near the top, and then 4 teams that are basically at the top with Arkansas when they have to take on Georgia, Texas, LSU, and Tennessee. I don't know if Arkansas can hold on to solo possession of first, because that is as brutal a stretch as you could imagine. But it is going to be fun to see it all play out. And, I mean, Arkansas fans are so blessed to know that in baseball, your postseason is going to be super meaningful. And if they can hold on and win half the series they have left, or maybe 4 out of the 6 in SEC play, then you basically know you're going to have a home regional and super regional.
Yeah. Tom, your voice and your strength sound so much better this week. Sounds like you're heading in the right direction.
Guys, I got to tell you, last Thursday or Friday, I had a checkup Wednesday, and I still wasn't eating, maybe like an egg or something. But come Friday, my appetite came back, and I've had some meat, and I can feel the difference. It's been amazing. It's been a long road to recovery. I appreciate y'all hanging tight with me through the scratchy voices and all that kind of stuff.
I'd like to lose a few pounds, but I don't think I want to do it that way, Tom. No. It's probably not a recommended way of doing it.
No, Tommy, don't advise it. Not good. But you know what? I'm feeling better, and I've had super, super outstanding support. I was at practice the other day, and Sam Pittman came over, gave me a hug, was welcomed by Kyle Parkinson and his staff, and it was really, really cool to be back on Saturday.
Well, man, I'm so glad to hear your the strength return to your voice. It's noticeably different this week, and it does my heart good just to hear you're doing better.
Outstanding. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
Be in Clarksville also adding on. Let's go TM, Mr. Tom Murphy. That's our buddy, Tom Murphy. Yeah, it is a noticeable difference. Tom, you're talking about you heard Tom talking about food there. Tommy, one of my buddies, Mitchell, came over and finally fixed my grill. So I guess I need to cook Tom a steak when it comes to celebrate his voice and my grill finally.
Someone that can't put the grill together or doesn't know who Huey Lewis in the News is, I don't know that I'd let you cook the steak. So
I do like this song though. We might have to feature it in Rejoin. Hip to be square. Is that what it's called?
It is. It's a new one there, Ty. It's all the kids love it. All the kids love it these days. Speaking of cooking a steak, how about the Arkansas Beef Council? On cattle ranches, calves aren't only raised by their mothers, they're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare, it's the top priority. Together we bring more beef. It's What's for Dinner. Tom Murphy with us on Tuesdays, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council, and courtesy of Beef, it's whatsfordinner.com.
Okay, so I did not know who Huey Lewis in the News were. Do you guys know who is behind One Shining Moment? The artist's name?
Luther Vandross.
Well, the original.
Okay.
There's been others that have done it, but Luther Vandross was the one that made it famous.
Yeah, and David Barrett's another one. But I will say...
Right, David Barrett, I think, originally did it, but Luther's the one that...
It's the best one.
Really, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest. Did either of y'all stay...
It's a basketball party like
turn up a little bit. Cool.
There's nothing like it for me. Rivals Only Christmas. Never gets old. This place is rocking. This is why we do this every March. Of madness.
Tommy, I did not stay up for the game. I had to watch it this morning. Now, you're in a different time zone, 2 hours.
The game itself?
The One Shining Moment that I'm playing this morning. Right. I did not make it up for it. Now, you're 2 hours behind us, so I'm guessing you watched this live and everything else. As soon as I watched Golden and them do the interviews, I went directly to bed. Did you watch this in person last night? There's 4 Arkansas appearances.
I had some folks with me, and I was glad to read that. I did not see One Shining Moment. I needed to go cash my ticket, and then I had to go get the car, and then we had to and I lost the car in the parking garage too. It took me a minute to find it, so that delayed me. And then to get back to my hotel.
Do you take pictures when you park in a parking garage?
I knew. Well, I was in C2. That was what was painted on the post. And by the way, you used to be able to park for free. You'd roll up to a casino and hand the valet the keys. Now it's $40. So you go to the self-park garage. It's $25. I'm so over Vegas. But anyway.
Guess I'll go next year.
God, it's just ridiculous. I think nobody will go next year. We probably can't afford next. Hopefully we make it to next year. But no, I did not see One Shining Moment. I had a few things I needed to clean up so I could, get to bed early and be ready for this program.
You know what? I gotta be honest. In the nearly 7 years I've worked here, I wouldn't identify you as a complainer or someone that says, but this is the most I've heard you complain in a 48-hour span, I think, since I've been here.
It's terrible.
You're in Las Vegas, Nevada. Why are you complaining?
But okay, the other night we ordered just a simple appetizer, nachos for the table to share.
Okay.
Any guess on what that would cost?
$35?
$86.
Yes.
It's $35?
$35.
Did you pay for it? No.
That's not the point, Ty. It doesn't matter who paid for it.
Listen.
Doesn't matter. Coke Zero. I got a Coke Zero right here. See it? It's on the screen.
$8.
And guess what this? $6. It just and I've been to New York. I've been to Hawaii. I've been very blessed this year to go to some cool places for work and for family travel.
It's gone next week.
This place is more. And this place is Orlando next week for cheer. You want to go to Cheer Comp? I'll let you go.
I'll play golf. Your daughter and your wife.
No, you got to go to the convention center, and you got to be excited about all the routines.
I would rather get castrated. And I say that as probably that someone's going to have a daughter, but no, that does not sound like something that I want to do at all. So you endure it first, Bo.
I'm just saying Vegas has just lost its mind. Is all I'm saying. Vegas used to be the place you could go, and it was affordable. I am well past and well over what's happening here now.
You have a company credit card. It's like free money.
That's not the point. But no, it's not, Ty. That's not how life works. So even though I understand that. And most of my meals have been paid for by vendors, and I haven't had to pay for a lot of things. It's just, I hate how much everybody else is just stupid. And the few things I bought are way overpriced.
I've never
Just
complained
stupid.
one time about how much something my father or a company man or anyone else has ever had to
Yeah,
pay.
yeah.
I just
Spoken
take
like
it.
a real
I
kid.
just take it and say
Yeah.
thank you,
God.
and then move on.
It shouldn't cost more in Vegas than it does in New York or Hawaii. That's just crazy to me. Just crazy. But that's where we're at. So, warning, if you're going to Vegas and you're looking for the the cheap steak dinner or the valet parking, it ain't going to happen anymore. out
By
here.
the way,
it's just it's nuts.
The initial question that we started out this hour with: should you stand for the national anthem?
Yes.
If you're not at the sporting event, whether the text comes from BA, Liz, Leonard, Doug, who have all texted here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, it is 1,000% consensus yes. So
Yes.
don't feel
I agree.
foolish
I agree.
or feel like you have to fall into peer pressure in the setup or scenario, whatever you're in. And next time, Tommy, get up on that booth and stand up loud and proud. Put that hand over your heart and let's rock
You
and roll.
can't stand up in the booth. Get thrown out of a place for doing that.
If they throw you out for standing up for the national anthem, then you shouldn't have been there
In a
in the
booth?
first place.
In the booth. You're going to stand up in the booth.
Well, I'm not ashamed to be an American, Tommy.
No, we're just ashamed of you.
Yeah,
you know.
that's the
All right, I've been complaining about money, so if you're like me and you're looking to save some money, go over to Joe's Grill and Cantina every Wednesday. So tomorrow they'll get you a delicious meal for the kids for $5, and Joe's is bringing out the crayons and the coloring contest, and they've got some cool prizes for the kids. And the fun doesn't stop there. It's every Wednesday night. They've got kids karaoke, so the kids that love to sing, they can join Joe's for kids night every Wednesday. Kids meals for just $5 on Wednesday nights at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Hey, come for the food, stay for the fun. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps. They don't charge you for chips and salsa. Chips and salsa during the game last night.
free,
A little cheese dip. How much you think that was?
Runs a lot cheaper here.
$20.
than it does in-
Yeah, so I'm done.
He's
It was
done.
I was done.
Tommy's done with Vegas. We're done with this segment. SEC update coming up. We'll talk more about the game last night and more when we return.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
You know, fun banter, whatever.
This is the Morning Rush.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jazzco?
We do food trucks, cars. We do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses. And we do logos, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jazzco. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Ty Richardson, we're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Ethan, you guys have a massive event coming up May 2nd and May the 3rd.
We will have the Kawasaki Good Times demo truck here for Kawasaki demo rides, games, and prizes. Rollin' Smoke Barbecue food truck will also be here, and on that Friday, Ruskin and Zach will report live from the event. That is the Steel Horse Rally Weekend. See our Facebook page for all the details and updates.
That's Wheeler Power Sports, 901 North 11th Street in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please text H2H Mystery to 44834 or call us at 479-452-2260. Heart to Heart's Mystery at the Forest, April 26th.
It's time for the Rath Ride Replacement Sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get up to $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by a comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath Ride Replacement Sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally climbed the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
National championship is in the balance. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, sure. He won. He can't touch it. He can't. 1 second. It's a great day to be a Gator. They win the national title.
In the background, you can hear Tommy Kraft screaming of joy all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. How much did you end up winning yesterday with the $100 you slapped down? 90.
After they take juice, 90.
Okay. I was thinking it would be with Florida being. Did you just bet it straight up before the game? You didn't get the.
No, I had Florida -1.
Okay, I didn't know because
-1.
I just got a
basically straight up. I mean, I guess they could have won by one. It'd been a push, but no, straight up.
I got a text here.
-1 rather, not straight up.
On the Lewis Automotive Group hotline that a buddy just won like $1,600 with Florida. I think it was plus 10.5 is what it was. So I mean, you bet on the Gators.
Florida
good
plus
chunk.
10.5.
Yeah, think about when they were down, and you have a chance to win that money.
Live betting.
Yeah,
Okay,
live
gotcha.
betting. So that's where the money's
that was
at.
that's the first sports bet I've actually placed in. I don't know how many years, but when in Vegas, do it.
Do it.
Sitting there, make it interesting.
Here's the thing: how do you not get a shot off at the tail end of the game? Kelvin Sampson called it incomprehensible.
Going through those last two possessions more than anything else, it's incomprehensible. In that situation, we couldn't get a shot. You got to get a shot.
I mean, think about Houston's final possessions down the stretch. They went miss 3, blocked, miss jumper, turnover, 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 turnover. That was what Houston did down the stretch. 3 of their 5 losses this season have come at the hands of an SEC opponent, Auburn, Alabama, and now the Florida Gators. And the highest loss they've had, the largest deficit has been 5 points. 3 of those games were in overtime. So you want to talk about one of the most competitive teams that college basketball has ever seen not to win a national championship? That would be the Houston Cougars. Again, the largest loss they've had all season was decided by 5 points. There's 2 5-point losses. 1 to Auburn, 1 to Alabama in overtime. So that is it's unbelievable. I said it earlier. I was rooting for the old guy last night, and I don't always do that. But someone texted in earlier, well, I guess you just are okay with recruiting violations and everything else. And it's like, I was just like, what do you know about that case? Like, if you're going to bring something up, at least have the knowledge.
What do you know about it?
I don't know anything about it. I don't pretend to know anything about it. I haven't.
So they could have said anything, and you would have said, okay.
I haven't, listen, as I like to say, I haven't dove into the Kelvin Sampson text stuff. I hadn't used that in a while. But
so at least you know it was about texting.
Yeah, so he sent too many texts. Like, I know listen, Clay gets mad at me from time to time. He got mad at me when I was a kid. He didn't know me as a kid, but it was like, yeah, I loved reading the Hogs Illustrated pictures back in the day. And he was like, you didn't read the articles? It's like, Clay, I was 7.
Say you're still a kid.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I have a kid-like personality. I approach kids from a kid-like perspective, always positive, never negative. But that being said, no, I don't know the nitty-gritty details of what Kelvin Sampson may or may not have done or did.
He was a little active. He was a little active on the text machine back in the day.
But he wasn't texting like a mistress or something. He's just texting kids about coming to school, right?
Well, which is against the rules.
Okay.
It was against the rules, at that time. So yeah, got him fired. Ultimately, it began the process to his dismissal there.
All right, Florida's the
coach that made a Final Four.
Yeah,
coach that made a Final Four with OU there. So.
Florida's the only school with 3 national championships in football and basketball. Chad Baker-Mazara might come back. He teased it on social media yesterday. And Arkansas infielder Cam Kochel has been named SEC Player of the Week. Had more runs than Missouri did last week. And that's your SEC update.
All right, your SEC update brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Their 47th anniversary sale is going on right now through the end of April. We can save in a variety of ways, guys. And I know it hasn't felt like backyard weather the last few days, but I promise it's coming at some point. How about $1,250 off on above-ground pools? $2,300 off in-ground pools. Also specials on hot spring spas right now. That might be more apropos. As the weather has not been fun. $134 a month is where those begin. And Ty can show you how to dove into your pool this summer. It's the 47th anniversary sale now through the end of April at Burton Pools and Spas. And by the way, they have 3 locations. We've always told you, and you know about Fort Smith and Springdale. Don't forget they're in Greenland now. So as you're headed to Baum Walker from the River Valley, or you're headed down the hill from Benton or Washington County, you'll see them in Greenland as well with Burton Pools and Spas, now 3 locations. Burton Pools and Spas, 47th anniversary sale. It's water for a better life. Go to burtonpools.com for details.
All right, a couple of texts I want to get to here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. This one comes from JT in Hot Springs. Does the Joe's Grill and Cantina Kids Night, Tommy, have limitations on age? He wants to know if I can enter the crayons and coloring contest.
I don't think you could keep it between the lines.
You're right on that. Jim in Fayetteville asked, why are you beginning, as he's talking about you, to sound like a bitchin' old woman, Tommy? It's troubling. Why are you sounding like that this 40? In Las Vegas, Nevada, he wonders.
Oh, and here's the worst part of it. I'm not paying for most of this stuff. Vendors and other people, I mean, it's work stuff. But so I'm going to a lot of stuff. But it's just, to me, it's not, I don't care who's paying for it. It's crazy what they're doing. I mean, and they're pricing me out, and I'm not even paying. So then they're still pricing me out. It's just nuts. I'm not the cheapest guy in the world, but I'm not looking to go out of my way to spend money. But this is just stupid. It shouldn't be more in Vegas than it is in Hawaii. It should be more in Vegas than it is in New York. That's my point. I expect it to be more than it is in Arkansas. Everything's more elsewhere. But I mean, $40 to park your car to go in and gamble. Get out of here.
I am the cheapest guy in the world. I'd rather sleep on a buddy's couch than pay $200 for a hotel room. So that is not exactly the place that I would necessarily spend every single waking moment of.
You wouldn't like it here, then.
Tina from Mina texting in. It says, "What's stupid is that food was cheap and drinks were free back in the day. Of course, I'm old, and they've gotten ridiculous." So Tina from Mina agrees with you this morning, Tommy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, I'm used to. I've been here 30 times in my life. I am used to the old school Vegas.
I've been once,
and I can't. I don't. I'm falling out of love.
Well, listen, I told you it to a certain extent it's your own fault. You should have stayed at Treasure Island. You should have let Treasure Island Tony take care of you.
It's not that's not the point. It's you everywhere you go. It's just crazy.
Let's see. Mason and Megan in Arkadelphia texting in saying, "I'll trade the firehouse for a trip." I don't know if he works at a firehouse or if he's just meant his house for a trip to Vegas with someone else covering the tab any day of the week. Complaining about spending someone else's money is rather insane.
Well,
yeah, you don't see me complaining about, and I know we like to make fun of my expense reports, but I mean, I try to stay as cheap as possible, shack up with a couple buddies.
Me too. I don't stay with buddies. I don't do that.
Well, it's just, I mean, it splits the cost. It's either 2/3 of the cost, 1/3 of the cost, 1/4 of the cost. I mean, you stay with more people, it's cheaper. So, I like Mason did about Megan's text. That is funny. You got to save your beefs. You're getting all your beefs out before tomorrow. You're firing these
I'll
early,
have some
man.
new ones. I got to go to the airport tomorrow, so I'll have some more because I got to go to my next work adventure tomorrow. Begins in Phoenix. So, hey, if you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, be sure and do that. New customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. It's real simple. Once you make your first deposit, each of the first 10 days, if your bet doesn't work out, they'll match that bet up to $100. So, if I'd done that last night and I'd bet Houston, they would give me a bonus bet of up to $100. So if that's where you find yourself, you got a free bet based on that. And they make it easy to deposit, withdraw funds. And now that college basketball's over, there's Major League Baseball, college baseball we pay attention to, the NBA's playoffs. When do they begin? Like yesterday? I don't know when the NBA playoffs begin.
Oh, they're coming up.
It won't be long. They're coming up real soon, so it'll all be there for you. Plus golf. You got the Masters this weekend. So you can do that. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with a brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Thunder did not have a good showing the other day against the Lakers. Playoffs start not next. Actually, yeah, I think it's next week. Yeah, should be next week. I think the playoffs will start for the NBA. So I know. Hopefully, Thunder will go on a run in that sense. I do want to. We're an hour and 40 minutes into the show, and I'll give you your coronation of sorts as you won the bracket contest between the ESPN Arkansas contestants with 354 points. I had 306. Phil was right behind me with 302. Then it goes Andy, Big C, Zach, Colton, and then Derek in dead last.
I wish I would have, and I just don't normally do this. I should have printed it off and put it in a few groups, but I didn't feel good about it at all because it was so chalky. But remember, we had a conversation on the air about, man, am I missing the boat here having 4 1 seeds in my Final Four? And you said no, so I almost immediately changed it. But I think you were trying to set me up, and it backfired on you. But I think, this year I kind of did what Clay was talking about. He had a good bracket too. I just picked the teams I wanted to win, and it worked out for me. So
maybe next year I just send Arkansas to – actually, maybe I have them losing the first round again, so they'll go all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to picking Arkansas postseason-wise, it doesn't always pan out like that.
It won't happen again in my life very often. So I had 354 points in our Hit That Line Now bracket contest. The national winner, which was also from Arkansas as well, had 364.
Sean.
So
Brother
Sean. So
Sean Good.
Thanks to all of our sponsors that help make our bracket contest possible, and we'll do it again next year. But Heartland Honda in Northwest Arkansas, work hard, play hard. Heartland Honda, Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith, Moix RV. They've been around since 1976, and 810 Billiards and Bowling. We'll get all the prizes out to all the winners. What prize? I win nothing, right? Is that the prize for the media?
Yeah, you have been
for our VIP list.
You have been eliminated from any prize contention, is what I found out in participating with ESPN Arkansas events and contests. The talent is not allowed to win.
But, here's what we should also point out, Ty. While you did finish a distant seconds to Moa, the Morning Rush finished 1 and 2 in this thing. So, I mean, I'm just saying. Just saying.
Top
top
dogs.
of the list. Morning Rush 1, Morning Rush 2. Ruskin and Zach way down at the bottom.
I will give them credit, and I don't want our airwaves to suddenly just go off for doing this. Zach and Derek were spot on about Walter Clayton yesterday. They said, and Colton, you were producing, saying you heard this numerous times. They're like, he can't keep this up. Like, it's physically impossible for a kid to just have a monstrous game every single game. And he wins the MVP and everything else, and he was unbelievable throughout the tournament. But they called it. They're like, he's not going to have a good game tonight, and he didn't. He made some key shots here and there, but I'll give them credit on that. But yes, the Morning Rush top dogs of the bracket contest.
What do they say about a broke clock, Ty?
It's broke twice a day. Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. It strikes 12 twice a day.
It's 12. It's right twice.
It's right twice a day. Whatever.
Twice.
My favorite phrase is a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yeah. All right. Hey, let me tell you about Gaston's White River Resort. At Gaston's, they got everything you need to have a great getaway and vacation. And with summertime, I know we talked about the weather a minute ago. It doesn't feel like it. Summertime coming up. You can get out and enjoy some great times at Gaston's. 870-431-5202. I'm amazed how many people tell me it's an annual trip for them, for their family. We've been taking my kids there. Now I take my grandkids. There's so many memories with people that love the White River. And I'll tell you why they do, because it's easy for a first-time angler, someone that's never fished before. You got a 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old grandchild. They can make it so much fun for them there. And the guides take care of the rod and reels. They take care of teaching and casting and baiting hooks and cleaning fish, and you don't have to worry about any of that. So the stress of running a boat and doing it all, or trying to keep an eye on everyone, is so much easier. So you can actually relax and enjoy your time away. If all that sounds like something you'd like to do again, or get started with you and your family and maybe make a new tradition and do it on the White River, call my friends at Gaston's White River Resort. Cheryl, Jacob, any of the reservation team will spend some time with you and make sure you got the right accommodations and the right trip that's set up personally for you. 870-431-5202 is their number. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
we're going to have to take some licking and keep on ticking.
This is the Morning Rush.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
It's time for the Rath rod replacement sale at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, bring in your old car and get $3,750 above appraised market value for your trade. Take advantage of over $20,000 in recent price reductions on our road-ready certified pre-owned inventory, inspected and reconditioned in our on-site Meineke Car Care Center and backed by comprehensive warranty. It's the Rath rod replacement sale all this month at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please text H2H Mystery to 44834 or call us at 479-452-2260. Heart to Heart's Mystery at the Forest, April 26th.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You can pay for free.
The worldwide leader in sports.
It was her first call game with my wife, and we ended up on that field. We were in section 104.
Brother, you just turned the light bulb on. You gotta go with somebody. At least I go with a winner.
Tommy, they're great.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
I think the rankings it's good for the fans. It's good for college baseball. It's good for internet, talk, and, fun banter, whatever. But it's nice. It's respect for your program. So I appreciate that, but I'm not all about it.
You're unanimous. Number 1 team in the country, Arkansas Razorbacks takes on Arkansas State later on tonight. Phil Elson's going to be on the call. He's also in studio today. Just dropped off some donuts. So you're not just living it up, Tommy. We've got powdered donuts in studio this morning.
Ooh, man, I am jealous now. So glad Phil's there to see us today. Hey, want to remind you, speaking of eating, Joe's Grill and Cantina Throwback Thursday coming up tomorrow. All the favorite coming up Thursday. All the favorite platters. They got Kids Night tomorrow. All your favorite Kuko's flavors from the days gone by are at Joe's Grill and Cantina, and you can get those right now. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street, across from Harps and Fort Smith.
All right, so we got to do this quick via text on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963 for your CJ's Trivia Tuesday. Hakeem Olajuwon has got a lot of screen time the last couple of days. He wasn't even allowed on the court, which was dumb. Who was his teammate back on Phi Slamma Jamma that not only teamed up with him on the Houston Cougars, but later on in the NBA with the Houston Rockets, nicknamed the Glide? 877-377-6963. All you got to do is text. You don't even have to call. You just text us. That is your CJ's Trivia. We will get you that $25 Butcher Boy Burger gift card to you after the show. I know Keith's excited where this baseball team is right now. The reason they're playing so well is because they're probably getting some CJs. So I know the baseball team always loves to stop by and see him, as we do as well. Halftime, Phil Elson, Matt Jones coming up next.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was